Begin! We will start with the Daywalker.
All right, let's set up. Hi, we're here to collect signatures and support to force the scouts to accept gays.
Cartman, South Park's beloved bundle of chaos, has done a lot of things that make you go, wow, jail might actually be a vacation for him. From stealing cheesy poofs to masterminding evil plots, this little guy proves that the real crime, much trouble one kid can cause.
Work the rules, Butters, on this ticket counter. And if you four have really come...
The episode opens with Jimmy and Timmy inviting Eric and the gang to cheer them on at the Special Olympics. And what's Cartman's first reaction? Classic Eric. I can't believe they exploit handicapped people. Dude, it's like he just discovered empathy for 2 seconds. Of course, that moral compass quickly breaks. Cartman's tune flips faster than a pancake at IHOP when he realizes he can make $1,000 by pretending to have a disability. Brilliant evil scheme? Check. Totally heartless? Double check. I'll act handicapped, crush the competition, and cash in, he says. Somewhere, the ghost of moral responsibility facepalms. Then comes the training montage. Forget Rocky. This is Cartman learning to hobble, fake slurred movements, and master the art of looking pathetic while secretly plotting world domination, or at least a fat stack of cash. Kyle, Stan, and Kenny, of course, are not impressed. Dude, you're literally going to hell if you do this, Kyle warns. Yeah, Cartman's already pre-booked a VIP spot. After some mom manipulation and a motivational pep talk that probably involved bribes, Cartman gears up with his trusty bicycle helmet, ready to cash in. But plot twist. His athleticism is basically zero. His diet is hot garbage, and he comes dead last in every event. Every single event. Applause? Sure. Redemption? Not happening. Karma is hilarious, folks. And that, my friends, is why Up the Down steroid earns Cartman a very special go straight to jail badge. Cartman's bigotry goes full throttle in this one. Normally, his twisted prejudice targets Jews, but in Ginger Kids, he sets his sights on redheads. The episode kicks off with Cartman giving a science presentation at school, claiming anyone with red hair, freckles, and pale skin is creepy, soulless, and infected with gingivitis. Kyle points out that Cartman has red hair too, but Eric clarifies he's a daywalker immune to the sun, and therefore not a ginger. Of course, Cartman's hate speech sparks a wave of discrimination against ginger kids, and Kyle tries to counter it with a science-based presentation. Interviewing a ginger family to show red hair is totally normal. Even the parents, though, prejudiced. Yep, apparently even ginger parents secretly hate their own kids. Kyle's arguments barely dent Cartman's ego, because nothing can stop this guy when he's on a rant. Fed up, Kyle, Stan, and Kenny sneak into Cartman's house at night, knock him out, and give him a complete ginger makeover, red hair, pale skin, and freckles, basically turning him into a chubby little Annie. The next morning, Cartman freaks out. His doctor even jokingly suggests putting him down, but his mom wisely declines, or wisely regrets declining. Instead of learning a lesson, Cartman doubles down. He blames society, claims gingers are a master race, and forms a violent ginger separatist movement. He leads attacks on non-gingers, kidnaps South Park kids, and plans to sacrifice them in a lava pit at the airport Hilton. Kyle is chosen as the first victim, but he spills the truth. Cartman's ginger look is fake, created by Stan, Kyle, and Kenny to teach him a lesson. Realizing the jig is up, Cartman pretends he's learned the error of his ways. He sings Hands in Hand to convince his ginger followers to release the kids, claiming harmony for all. Kyle calls him a manipulative liar, and of course, Cartman just shrugs. Mission accomplished, and he's still alive. Lesson Cartman never learns, but at least he saved himself. Barely. Which Cartman scheme shocked you the most? Scott Tenerman's revenge, or the Ginger Kids uprising?
Cartman, I need to tell you something!
Go on then, say your last words.
Ahoy, mateys! Next up on our Cartman Deserves Jail list is Fatbeard, the episode where Eric decides the school cafeteria isn't chaotic enough, so he declares that the entire school can now become pirates. That's right, "Pirating is back, my friends," he shouts, because apparently high school lunch tables are just the beginning of his swashbuckling dreams. How do you become a pirate in 24 hours? Easy. Fly to Miami, take a connecting flight to Cairo, and then hop on a 49-hour bus ride to Somalia. Sounds fun, right? For Butters, Ike, Kyle, and Kevin, it's the adventure of a lifetime. Though Kevin still doesn't quite understand the assignment. "Pirate ho?" he mutters, and you can tell he's already regretting it. Once they arrive in Somalia, Cartman drags the boys into a sketchy bar where they are immediately ransomed for money. Surprise! These aren't pirates, they're just locals. But that doesn't stop Cartman from thinking they're on the same side. Because logic. Because Cartman. Things escalate when Cartman takes over a French boat and starts his under-management routine, yelling, "Get off my!" trying to run a pirate empire. He hands out grog, hands out credibility, and lets it all go straight to his tiny, power-hungry head. Kyle shows up to save his little brother, but Cartman ransoms him for $1 million. Naturally, when Butters and the others want to leave, Cartman rallies his pirate crew, declaring, "Nobody's going anywhere. I'm the captain of this outfit to arms." Translation, he's officially the worst captain in pirate history. In the end, the only thing stopping Cartman's chaotic piracy spree is the U.S. Navy, which wipes out all of his so-called pirates. Lesson learned? Not really. But hey, at least we got to watch Cartman be ridiculously evil, hilariously clueless, and completely deserving of jail. Again.
You booty lovers. So you decided to join Captain Cartman, did you?
Cartman really outdoes himself this time, showing just how good he is with children, assuming those children are addicted to crack and willing to fight for money. Yep, the episode opens with Stan and Kyle watching Terrence and Philip when a heartbreaking commercial about crack-addicted babies inspires Kyle to volunteer at a hospital. But surprise, Cartman is already there, probably just looking for snacks and ways to laugh at sick kids. Classic. Kyle follows Cartman and discovers the horrifying truth. Cartman, along with Craig, Clyde, and Butters, has founded the Crack Baby Athletic Association. It's basically MMA, but with babies. Babies addicted to crack and filled balls. And the fights are streamed online. Naturally, Kyle confronts Cartman, but of course, Cartman spins it as a win-win. He even ropes Kyle into being the accountant, because apparently, Kyle's Jewish background makes him perfect for that role. Kyle reluctantly agrees, though his conscience screams louder than Cartman's laughter. The business explodes in popularity, and the CBAA even lands a deal with EA Sports to make a video game based on crack-addicted baby fights. Cartman insists it's a non-profit. He lies so smoothly it should be illegal, and promises to investigate how other companies exploit athletes by dressing as a southern plantation owner, no less, proving once again his creative villainy knows no bounds. Meanwhile, Clyde and Craig try to book Slash for a halftime show, only to discover that Slash doesn't exist. The legendary guitarist is apparently a Dutch myth, and all their sightings were adults in costume, including their parents. Classic South Park chaos. When the EA Sports deal finalizes, Kyle panics. EA owns all profits, and Cartman's orphanage plan seems dead. But miraculously, the orphanage appears, funded by none other than Slash's guitar and hat. Kyle rejoices, believing again in the magic of Slash, while Cartman smugly keeps his usual power-hungry streak alive. In short, crack babies, mythological rock stars, and Cartman running wild. The CBAA may be terrible, the plan insane, but it's pure chaotic genius, South Park style. Subscribe or Cartman will haunt your snack drawer forever.
Crack baby? Basketball. Dude. No, it's not like it sounds.
Brace yourselves. Episode 8 is Ginger Kids, where Cartman's moral compass gets nuked and replaced by a hair dye kit. It starts with Eric whipping up his usual hatred cocktail, this time aimed at redheaded kids. "Gingers creep me out," he proclaims, like a toddler discovering bigotry for the first time. Naturally, Cartman gives a speech that somehow spawns the iconic "Gingers have no souls" meltdown. Peak cringe, peak Cartman. Kyle, Stan, and Kenny decide to school him the old-fashioned way. Prankster intervention. They dye Cartman's hair ginger to force empathy. Cute plan. If your idea of a life lesson is temporary hair trauma, Cartman looks in the mirror and doesn't find his soul. He finds an audience. Instead of learning anything, our boy flips the script and becomes a tiny red-haired dictator. Red power. Repeat until democracy dies. What follows is Cartman recruiting every ginger in town into a full-blown, absurdly earnest master race club. Because when Eric gets insecure, he goes full overcompensation. He rounds up the non-gingers, drags them to the Hilton, because where else do you plan mass atrocities, room service, and starts building cages and a lava pit level of evil plan. It's terrifyingly extra, like a villain audition tape directed by someone allergic to nuance. Just as Cartman escalates from mean kid to villain of the week, Kyle drops the truth bomb. The hair was fake. Plot twist. Cartman's about to perform genocide-level theatrics over a temporary dye job. Panic. Nope. Cartman switches to Plan B, manipulate with musical theater. Yeah, he sings. Somehow, the same man who cooked up a ginger purge convinces the mob to stop through show tune level manipulation. It's dark, it's hilarious, and it's peak Cartman logic. Bottom line, he didn't learn much, but he did give us a painfully funny lesson on how not to handle being pranked. Jail? Maybe. Mandatory empathy classes? Definitely.
Together! To save you in a... You are such a manipulative asshole, Cartman.
Yes, but I'm not going to die.
So somehow, South Park decides the best way to spend a weekend is reenacting the Civil War. Enter Cartman, history's least reliable general, who thinks the South actually won in 1865. Naturally, he bets Kyle and Stan that the loser has to be his slave for a whole month. Yep, he literally wants to turn them into tiny, unpaid minions. When reality slaps him in the face, newsflash, the North won. Cartman flips out like a kid denied dessert. His brilliant solution? Make slavery legal again. Because nothing says fun weekend like trying to rewrite history to serve your own selfish whims. Cartman rallies his Confederate army with a secret weapon. Schmore snobs booze. Nothing motivates drunken reenactors like cheap alcohol and vague promises of glory. Suddenly, Cartman's plan escalates from a school reenactment to full-blown take-over America levels of absurdity. He's issuing commands, building forts, and probably imagining himself in a pirate hat because that seems like something that makes sense to him. Chaos? Check evil? Double check. Comedy gold? Absolutely. But of course, Kyle and Stan, the resident tiny geniuses, pull a rare power move. They dress up as Abraham Lincoln and Confederate leader Jefferson Davis and force Cartman to declare the North the winner. Little dictator literally can't do anything. His army collapses, his dreams implode, and he's left staring at history like, wait, what? And even though slavery is still illegal, Cartman's clever manipulation shows he was scheming the whole time. If he won, he'd have his minions. If he lost, slavery stays banned. Either way, chaos reigns, towns are mildly traumatized, and Cartman, well, he definitely deserves a few years in jail.
What the hell are you guys doing?
Hey, General, he's reenacting Jefferson Davis. You can't talk that way to a superior officer.
Cartman strikes again. This time in the superhero trilogy, our favorite pint-sized tyrant gets upset that Kenny, who actually has real superpowers, stole the spotlight. Wait, your superpower is you can't die? Cartman asks, completely missing the point. Naturally, being kicked out of the superhero group triggers classic Cartman revenge mode. What does he do? He teams up with none other than Dark Lord Cthulhu. Yep, Cartman somehow convinces a cosmic horror to follow his plan, probably with snacks or a persuasive meow somewhere along the line. Together, they wreak havoc across Colorado, leveling buildings, terrorizing Burning Man, and famously assassinating Justin Bieber. Finally, some justice, right? Well, maybe a tiny break on his sentence for that one. But Cartman's evil streak doesn't stop at pop star hits. He banishes all his superhero group members, Kyle, Stan, Kenny, and Butters, to the sunken city of Relaya, a terrifying place of dark oblivion. Yeah, being trapped there doesn't sound like a vacation, unless your idea of fun is eternal despair. Thankfully, hope isn't lost. The boys are saved by the true hero hiding in plain sight, Mintberry Crunch. With the power of mint and berries, yet with a tasty, satisfying crunch, our fruity savior restores justice and balance. And finally, for once, karma bites Cartman in the butt. The boys throw him in a holding cell for trying to banish them forever. It's not a spa retreat. There's a big bucket, lots of Butters poop, and absolutely nothing to eat. Yep, poetic justice tastes like poop. Cartman's schemes were epic, chaotic and absurd. But at least in this episode, he finally gets a tiny dose of what he deserves.
Mysterion can... Wait, what's your superpower, Mysterion? I can't die.
Ah, yes, the episode that cemented Cartman as a true villain of legend. Scott Tenerman must die. The story kicks off with Cartman bragging to his friends that he's the first to reach puberty. He's proudly presenting his first pubic hairs. Except he didn't grow them. Nope, he paid a high schooler named Scott Tenerman $10 for them. Rookie mistake. Once Cartman realizes he's been scammed, he spirals into full-on revenge mode. He tries everything to get his money back, begging, singing on camera as a little piggy, and basically humiliating himself repeatedly. Scott? He's always one step ahead, laughing at Cartman's misfortune. Typical Scott. Cartman's revenge escalates from petty to absurdly diabolical. First, he trains a pony to bite off Scott's, well, let's just say it's the Cartman way of handling minor problems. Jimbo wisely advises, find their weakness and exploit it. And Cartman takes this to a terrifyingly creative extreme. He manipulates Scott's love for Radiohead, fakes interviews, and even concocts a plan involving a chili cook-off, a starving pony, and a creepy abandoned farm. At the cook-off, things get delightfully grotesque. Scott eats chili, but so does Cartman, greedily shoveling it down like every other food ever invented. Little does Scott know that Cartman had swapped the chili at the last second. Then, the horror. Cartman's revenge reaches Shakespeare-level evil. Scott unknowingly eats chili made from his own parents. Yep, full-on Cartman madness. As Scott cries, Radiohead shows up, obliviously mocking him, while Cartman stoically licks the tears off Scott's face like it's some kind of gourmet treat. The episode ends with Stan and Kyle silently agreeing, never mess with Cartman, because this time, Cartman didn't just win, he redefined evil genius. Lesson learned, never trust a kid with pubes, or a pony, or a chili contest, or basically anything in South Park.
Poor Grandma.
Hey, kid, hold on a second. I'll get your money.
Click the next post to see even more times Cartman should have been in jail. Chaos guaranteed.